Tantra in Buddhism is a broader category of teachings that are focused on leading practitioners to enlightenment. The main goal of all tantric practices, whether in Tibetan Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism, is to unite wisdom and compassion. In Tantric Buddhism, there is an emphasis on esoteric and ceremonial practices. These practices are believed to be more effective in helping practitioners achieve quick spiritual progress. The teachings of Tantra are passed down in sacred texts, which guide practitioners through the complex rituals and philosophical ideas that are central to this practice. These teachings include not only meditative practices, but also moral and ethical principles that help practitioners live in harmony with themselves and others. In the Great Chariot, a key Buddhist scripture, Tantra is presented as a method for combining wisdom, understanding the true nature of reality, and compassion, acting with kindness and care for others. Tantra plays a very important role in Tibetan Buddhism, also known as vajrayana or Tantric Buddhism. It is a special kind of spiritual practice that involves secret teachings and rituals aimed at achieving enlightenment. The practices of Tantra are different from regular meditation techniques because they include rituals, mantras, sacred sounds, mudras, hand gestures, and visualizations to help practitioners reach a higher state of spiritual awareness quickly. This makes Tantra in Tibetan Buddhism very powerful and unique. The key texts in Tibetan Buddhism that explain Tantra are known as tantras. These sacred texts guide practitioners in performing rituals and meditations designed to bring them closer to enlightenment. The texts teach both spiritual and philosophical ideas, and they often include complex instructions for advanced meditative practices. Some of the most important texts in Vajrayana Buddhism include the Blue Annals, the Guhyagarbha Tantra, and the 6 Yogas of Naropa. These texts help followers understand how to use specific rituals and meditative techniques to transform their minds and reach enlightenment. Tibetan Buddhism also has different schools such as Nyingma, Kadampa, Kagyu, and Golug. Each of these schools has its own way of understanding and practicing Tantra. However, all these schools share the same foundational texts, which include the Kingyur, the words of Buddha, and the Tenjir, commentaries written by scholars. Tantra is often treated as a separate category of teachings in Tibetan Buddhism, as it focuses on esoteric knowledge that is meant to be kept secret and passed down only to qualified practitioners. Mahayana Buddhism is one of the main branches of Buddhism, and it focuses on helping others achieve enlightenment along with oneself. Tantra is also important in Mahayana Buddhism, but it is used somewhat differently. The practices of Tantra in Mahayana are meant to help practitioners progress along the path of the Bodhisattva, a being who seeks enlightenment not just for themselves, but for all sentient beings. In Mahayana, Tantra is often linked with the worship of deities and involves complex rituals that include invoking deities and using mantras. These rituals and practices are said to help purify the mind and spirit, bringing about wisdom and compassion, which are essential qualities for a bodhisattva. The Karandavyuha Sutra and the Bodhisattvacariyavatara are examples of important Mahayana texts that discuss Tantra and its role in the bodhisattva's journey. While the core teachings of Mahayana are focused on compassion and wisdom, Tantra provides additional methods and techniques to accelerate spiritual progress. These methods may involve using rituals, meditations, and special invocations to draw closer to enlightenment.